Welcome to the Real from Home. Ladies, you all are looking amazing. What's up? What's up? Hi,
Yeah.
ladies.
So,
Hi. I love seeing your beautiful faces here. You guys ready for some girl chat?
yes,
Yeah.
sure.
All right, let's do it because there's so much to discuss. First up, if you're a parent right now, Tam,
Yeah,
you're probably spending a lot of time with your kids.
yeah.
However, one New Jersey mom recently got in trouble after a video came out of her teaching her 2-year-old how to work a stripper pole. The Neighborhood Talk posted the video to their Instagram asking if their followers thought this was appropriate. Well, many people did not because it was reported that some of them even went as far as called the police, you guys, on this woman and social services on the mother. So, ladies, do you think that that's a fair response or a complete overreaction?
When they say work the stripper pole, what do they mean?
Did you like, okay, the video, the child was not twerking on the stripper pole. To me, again, I'm not a parent, but I feel like sometimes we over sexualize things that children think are innocent or don't view in a certain way. And I think that to me, the child was building wild arm strength that looked like something you could have seen in Cirque du Soleil. But also, I personally was not offended by it, but at the same time, I don't think everything is intended for Instagram, the internet, and social media because you will get judged. And I think that could have been a private moment between her and her child that didn't need to be put out there.
Do you guys remember? Okay, I don't know if this is just me, but do you remember back in the day, if you were to dial those three numbers, 911, it was like the ultimate scary, like somebody's going to jail. Somebody is dying.
Like
I remember my friends like, you call it. No, you call it. And you would dial 911 and you'd say, no. People are calling the cops today about a kid that's on a pole. Are you serious?
Jeannie, I've never dialed 911
I'm trying to turn off my phone and it accidentally lets the emergency number come up. And I'm like, oh, no.
You got scared. Right.
Too.
What happened to that terror we used to have with respect to the authority that would come and do whatever it is that they're supposed to do with handcuffs and batons and guns? Like, what
first
happened?
of all, Karens ain't never had that terror. But in general, I just think that people also, I think a big problem is that people don't even know what the cops are for at this point. I mean, we never really see them serving us and protecting us. We only see them like protecting certain folks. We rarely see them actually like they don't know the law, so there's no way for them to really uphold the law. So I think people have now decided that the cops are just like this community organization for their own use. And if we just got a better understanding of each other and how we can work as community, I feel like we wouldn't need to resort to calling the cops all the time on anything that feels like uncomfortable or wrong.
Tam, I want to throw this to you because as a parent, do you think that this was worth calling social services and the police over, or what are your thoughts?
To me, it's common sense. The child wasn't hurting. The child was smiling. The child did not look uncomfortable in any way. The mom was smiling and laughing. This is my thing. As a mom, I have been judged so many times. So knowing what that feels like, I don't like to judge other moms in their situation.
I love that about you.
People, what they do in their household, they're doing their best. I mean, do you? I do go by this motto though. Proverbs 22:6 is train up a child in the way he should, and when he is old, he will not depart. But that is for me and my household. That's for me. And again, we don't know this woman's history. We don't even know what she's using the pole for. I have a friend who uses a pole for exercises.
Yeah.
So that is the way I see this situation. The main
thing,
it
was not specified that this mother is a stripper, FYI.
And I have learned to never judge a parent unless that child obviously is, in danger or, and clearly in a situation where they're unhappy, being neglected, abused. So that's what I have to say.
And we be seeing parents take videos of the kids. Like, I'm more concerned when I see parents like showing videos of their like 3-year-olds cursing up a storm, you know, and twerking all crazy, and you're just like,
guys, there's countries where kids are being taught
adult behavior.
Yes, there's countries where kids are being taught how to shoot a gun and how to actually be in an army. Like, what are we talking about right now? Why are you calling cops?
Well, we're talking about what you said, the Bible verse, Bible scholar. Some people need to leave stuff. They need to leave stuff in their private possession, because when you put stuff on the internet, then people feel like they can comment on it. For me personally, I think a child should be a child, and there's some things that's inappropriate. They were trying to say like, oh, well, they have poles at the playground. This wasn't a pole in the playground. The mother had on like I think it was like a G-string bikini. So it's some suggestive things. And like I said, if she was going to do something like that, I think she did it for attention. She's going to get the smoke behind it, because there's just some people that's, you know, for me, I wouldn't want to see a little 2-year-old, 3-year-old girl on a pole. And we have in a society, we have that.
Yeah. I agree with that. That's what I said. I said, I don't think she should have put it on the internet, because sadly, like my mom would say, you know, there are some sick people out there that my mom would be like, yo, even though we may not see it that way, and we may not view it, and we may not sexualize it, someone else might.
I will say,
and she had good intention. I think she had good intention.
So right about that, Adrian.
And she thought it was cute. But, you know, in our society, that's why people called the cops, because they felt like she was not being a fit mother by teaching her. And sometimes children are impressionable. So, you know, it's a lot. It was a lot.
And that's still a different phone number. If anybody feels concerned because you see some parenting that could be questionable or dangerous, there are child protective services, and that's a whole process to make sure that you get somebody who's accountable to check on the family.
I think they also called child protective services too. I don't know for sure if it was just the police. I think they were just trying to report her as being a bad mother. But I want to be perfectly clear about how I feel about this. I think that she was not hurting her child. That was her child. I just think she should have kept it off the internet, and we wouldn't be talking about this right now.
Yeah. Yes, Lonnie, and you are Auntie Lonnie in that situation. Speaking of teaching kids, undergraduate students at New York City's Pratt Institute are reportedly suing the school, demanding that they get a refund for their tuition for the part of the semester conducted virtually due to the coronavirus. The class action lawsuit claims that online instruction is subpar, and that the students have been deprived of the opportunity for collaborative learning, in-person dialogue, feedback, and critique. So ladies, do you think the college should cough up these students their tuition?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Give me my money.
Yes.
Give me my money.
I absolutely do believe this. A portion of it. I absolutely do believe this for multiple reasons. First of all, it's a fashion school known for the arts, and I think that, in my opinion, that seems like something that's very interactive. Also, learning on the internet is very one-sided. So while I can watch you do what you do, you cannot watch me do what I do. So even in a classroom, I know that I was highly distracted, or I would disconnect easily, or dream. You know, I was definitely a daydreamer, off in my own dreams. And there were times where a teacher would be like, hey, like, I need you to focus, or I need you to be. There isn't someone to do that in a classroom there, or there isn't someone to hands-on learn how to sew or how to make a pattern. In this case, I absolutely think that they should get their money back. Or
I'm with you, Adrian.
There's a reason why internet college has always been less expensive.
Cheaper, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of folks do that not just because of their, you know, ability to have it work with their schedules, but also because economically it makes more sense. So I think there is something to be said for the fact that that shift is fair.
And at the end of the day, too, with the Board of Education, I think that we know that for a good portion of these students' lives, they will be dealing with that debt, which is a huge burden. So it has to be worthwhile to actually go into that place. So if you feel at any time that you're taking money from a student who is not absorbing what they really should get, the value of every penny being spent, don't keep the money, you're stealing it.
And to be fair to the professors, like, they didn't sign up for this either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of professors, especially in the arts, are very tactile. They want to be able, like you said, Tam, to see, touch. Like you'll be in process, and they're used to being able to walk around and see you in process and maybe give you a tip here, a tip there. It's difficult to really shift your teaching style just like that overnight as well. So I think all of that has to account for the college saying, you know what, let's be fair.
Yeah, they should at least give them a partial refund. If not, give them something.
They ain't broke. Give the refund.
Okay, so speaking of learning, one Reddit user took to the forum to get some insight on what folks should learn to embrace about who they are. Their question was, what are things that people are ashamed of but shouldn't be ashamed of? And people's answers included pretty much everything. One person said they were ashamed to go into stores without buying anything. And on the other drastic end of the spectrum, one person said they were ashamed to admit to failure, even though that's a part of life. So Is there anything, ladies of the real, that you were ashamed of that you now realize you shouldn't be ashamed of?
Can I go first?
Sure.
I am not ashamed anymore of asking for my money back when somebody owe it to me.
Yeah.
Give yourself a hand clap, Lonnie. Give yourself a hand clap.
I'm ashamed of this.
How you feeling bad? Like, dude, they owe me $100, and they got that Burke bag. They got that new Chanel. Should I ask for my money back? Dang.
Wait, if somebody who borrowed my money showed up with a bird bath, they are getting punched in the throat.
I said a Burke
You know what?
bag.
People try to shame women for not having a man.
Birkin.
Say that again, Amanda.
I feel like a lot of people try to shame women for not having a man.
Yeah.
You know,
they
like
do.
I get that.
They so do.
I get that like every day. Like that's
they
why you
feel
got
bad
a man,
for you.
And they make you they make you feel like, and I think a lot of women will admit to this, that they have settled or they've stayed in a relationship just because of not wanting to be in that shameful place, instead of simply just creating a more healthy space for them as a single person. So I definitely am somebody who's felt that before. I've absolutely felt that before. Like,
also without being married,
and not having kids,
or being a woman and not having kids. You hear that all the time.
And I'm not ashamed of my eyes. People be talking about, Lonnie, you look high on the reel. It's just my eyes, and my eyelashes are low. I'm not high. It's just how I look.
My mom tried to shame me for getting a trampoline, saying that I think I'm too young. She's still going with that narrative and that rhetoric. But guess what? I'm about to bounce my way to joy. So,
that's right.
You know, especially
your way into her bedroom
in this quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
don't let, and that's a big one though. And I know your mom didn't mean it in a bad way, but don't ever let somebody shame you for feeling young. Don't ever.